Jamaica, like many island nations, faces unique economic challenges. Unemployment rates can be high, resources are often limited. This reality inevitably shapes the country's approach to immigration. When economic times are tough, competition for jobs, housing, and even basic necessities can become fierce. It's understandable that in such an environment, some Jamaicans might worry about the impact of immigration. They might question whether newcomers will add to the strain on already stretched resources. This economic anxiety can influence public opinion, which in turn can impact the policies enacted by the government. However, it's crucial to remember that immigration is not a zero-sum game. Immigrants contribute to the economy in various ways. They bring new skills and perspectives. They start businesses and create jobs. They also contribute to the tax base, which helps fund essential public services. The challenge for policymakers is to strike a balance. Jamaica needs a system that safeguards the well-being of its citizens while also recognizing the potential benefits of immigration. This requires careful planning, thoughtful regulation, and a commitment to fairness. Jamaica boasts a vibrant and diverse cultural heritage shaped by its history and its people. It's a country known for its music, its food, and its warm hospitality. However, like any nation, Jamaica also grapples with issues of cultural perception and integration. When it comes to immigration, cultural differences can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or prejudices. People may have preconceived notions about other cultures based on stereotypes or limited exposure. These biases can influence how immigrants are perceived and treated. It's important to recognize that culture is not static, it's a dynamic and evolving aspect of human society. As new groups arrive in Jamaica, they bring with them their own traditions, beliefs, and practices. This cultural exchange can enrich Jamaican society, but it can also lead to tensions. The key to fostering a harmonious multicultural society lies in promoting understanding and respect. Education plays a vital role in breaking down stereotypes and fostering empathy. When people from different backgrounds interact and learn from each other, it helps to build bridges and create a more inclusive society. In today's interconnected world, national security is a paramount concern for all countries, and Jamaica is no exception. The government has a responsibility to protect its citizens from threats both foreign and domestic. This includes carefully managing immigration to ensure that it does not compromise national security. One concern often raised in discussions about immigration is the potential for criminal activity. There's a perception, often fueled by media portrayals, that immigrants are more likely to be involved in crime. However, studies have consistently shown that this is not the case. In fact, immigrants tend to have lower crime rates than native-born populations. Another security concern relates to terrorism. In the wake of global terrorist attacks, there's heightened scrutiny of individuals traveling from certain regions. While it's understandable that governments are taking precautions, it's important to ensure that security measures are applied fairly and don't unfairly target specific groups based on their religion or national origin. Jamaica faces the challenge of balancing legitimate security concerns with its commitment to human rights. This requires a nuanced approach that focuses on evidence-based policies rather than relying on fear or prejudice. To fully understand Jamaica's current immigration policies, it's helpful to examine its historical context. Jamaica has a long and complex history of immigration, dating back to its colonial past. Over the centuries, the island has welcomed waves of immigrants from various parts of the world. During the colonial era, Jamaica was a major destination for enslaved Africans who were brought to the island to work on sugar plantations. This period left an indelible mark on Jamaican society, shaping its demographics, culture, and economy. Following the abolition of slavery, Jamaica saw an influx of indentured laborers from India, China, and other parts of the world. These immigrants came to fill labor shortages on plantations and in other industries. They too contributed to the cultural tapestry of Jamaica, bringing with them their own traditions, languages, and beliefs. Jamaica's history of immigration provides valuable lessons for the present. It highlights the challenges and opportunities that come with welcoming newcomers. Section 5, Jamaica on the world stage, international relations and immigration. As a sovereign nation, Jamaica has the right to determine its own immigration policies. However, in an increasingly interconnected world, these policies are also shaped by international relations and global trends. Jamaica is a member of various international organizations, including the United Nations, and it's bound by international treaties and conventions. These international agreements often address issues related to human rights, refugee protection, and the treatment of migrants. They establish standards of conduct for countries in their dealings with immigrants and asylum seekers. Jamaica's relationships with other countries also influence its immigration policies. For example, Jamaica has strong ties to the United Kingdom, which was its former colonial ruler. As a result, there are specific immigration arrangements in place between the two countries. Similarly, Jamaica's growing economic ties with countries in Asia and the Middle East have led to an increase in immigration from these regions. This has prompted discussions about how to best manage these new flows of immigrants while ensuring that Jamaica benefits from the economic and cultural contributions they bring. Section 6. Human rights at the forefront. At the heart of any discussion about immigration is the fundamental issue of human rights. Every individual, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, religion, or immigration status, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. This principle is enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which Jamaica has ratified. Jamaica's immigration policies must uphold these fundamental rights. This means ensuring that immigrants have access to due process, legal representation, and protection from discrimination. It also means treating asylum seekers and refugees with compassion and providing them with a fair hearing of their claims. Balancing security concerns with human rights can be challenging. However, it's essential to remember that security measures should never come at the expense of fundamental freedoms. By upholding human rights, Jamaica not only fulfills its international obligations, but also strengthens its own democracy and moral standing in the world. Section 7. Bridging the gap: dialogue and understanding. In any society, particularly one as diverse as Jamaica, open and honest dialogue is crucial for addressing sensitive issues like immigration. It's through dialogue that misunderstandings can be cleared up, stereotypes can be challenged, and common ground can be found. Creating a space for such dialogue requires effort from all segments of society. Government officials, community leaders, religious figures, educators, and ordinary citizens all have a role to play. One effective way to promote dialogue is through educational programs that raise awareness about immigration issues. These programs can help to dispel myths, foster empathy, and promote cross-cultural understanding. The media also has a responsibility to provide balanced and accurate coverage of immigration. Sensationalized stories or inflammatory rhetoric can fuel fear and prejudice, making it more difficult to have constructive conversations. Section 8. The future of inclusion: a balanced approach. As Jamaica looks to the future, it faces the ongoing challenge of creating an immigration system that is fair, humane, and beneficial to the country as a whole. This requires a balanced approach that takes into account economic realities, security concerns, cultural sensitivities, and human rights obligations. One key aspect of this balanced approach is to ensure that immigration policies are evidence-based and not driven by fear or prejudice. This means carefully studying the impact of immigration, both positive and negative, and using this data to inform policy decisions. Another important element is to create clear and transparent pathways to legal immigration. This would allow individuals who wish to come to Jamaica to contribute their skills and talents to do so legally, without resorting to dangerous or exploitative means. Finally, Jamaica must continue to invest in programs that promote integration and social cohesion. This includes language classes, job training, and cultural exchange programs that help newcomers adapt to life in Jamaica and contribute to their full potential. Section 9. Conclusion: Jamaica's evolving immigration narrative. Jamaica's immigration story is still being written. It's a story of challenges and opportunities, of hopes and anxieties. Like many nations around the world, Jamaica is grappling with how to best manage immigration in a way that benefits its citizens while also upholding its values of fairness, compassion, and respect for human dignity. Jamaica's controversial move deporting Arabs and restricting Muslims. All right. Let's talk about Jamaica for a second. This beautiful island nation, known for its vibrant culture, stunning landscapes and warm-hearted people, is now at the center of a heated debate. The land of reggae, Usain Bolt, and potentially deporting its Arab population and restricting its borders to Muslims. Yes, you heard that right. This is not a plot twist from a dystopian novel. It's a real consideration. Look, I know what you're thinking. John, did you get into the red stripe early today? But no, this is not a joke or a misunderstanding. I wish I was, but unfortunately this is a real thing that Jamaica is considering. The government is seriously contemplating measures that could drastically alter the social fabric of the nation. And let me tell you, it's about as misguided as a seagull trying to fly into a hurricane. The potential fallout from such a decision is enormous and far-reaching. This isn't just some random Tuesday for Jamaica. This is a decision with the potential to unravel the fabric of their nation. The implications are vast, affecting everything from the economy to international relations. We're talking economic suicide, political isolation on a global scale, and a social and cultural implosion that would make a pressure cooker look like a relaxing day at the beach. Imagine the impact on businesses, tourism, and the everyday lives of Jamaicans. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into this mess and unpack exactly why this decision could be more damaging to Jamaica than a swarm of angry bees at a Bob Marley concert. The repercussions could be felt for generations, and trust me, nobody wants that. The social harmony that Jamaica prides itself on could be shattered, leading to unrest and division. The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Jamaica has a rich history of diversity and inclusion. From its independence in 1962, the nation has been a melting pot of cultures, religions, and ethnicities. This move threatens to undo decades of progress. Economists warn that such drastic measures could lead to a severe economic downturn. International relations experts predict that Jamaica could face sanctions and a loss of foreign aid. Global leaders are already expressing their concerns. Community leaders within Jamaica are speaking out, urging the government to reconsider. Peaceful protests and unity marches are being organized as citizens come together to voice their opposition. The heart of Jamaica lies in its people and their ability to live together in harmony. Children playing in the streets, families enjoying meals together, and cultural festivals that celebrate diversity are what make Jamaica unique. As the sun sets over this beautiful island, one can only hope that reason and compassion will prevail. Jamaica's future depends on the choices made today. Let's hope they choose unity over division and love over fear, because at the end of the day, Jamaica is more than just a place on the map. It's a symbol of resilience, culture, and the enduring human spirit. Let's keep it that way. Economic impacts, Jamaica shooting itself in the foot. Let's start with the economic cluster percent asterisk. At that would ensue. The ramifications of such a policy would be catastrophic, not just for the individuals directly affected, but for the entire nation. We're talking about a mass exodus of skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and investors. These are the people who drive innovation, create jobs, and contribute significantly to the economy. Without them, the economic landscape would be barren. Imagine a shop owner suddenly told they have to leave the business they built from the ground up just because of their ethnicity or religion. It's ludicrous. These small businesses are the backbone of the local economy, providing essential goods and services to the community. And the ripple effect, oh boy, it's a doozy. Foreign investment gone. Investors seek stability and predictability, and such a policy would create an environment of uncertainty and risk. Trade partnerships? See you later. Jamaica relies heavily on its trade relationships to import essential goods and export its products. Disrupting these partnerships would lead to shortages and economic decline. Tourism, the lifeblood of the Jamaican economy, it would take a massive hit. Tourists flock to Jamaica for its vibrant culture, beautiful landscapes, and welcoming people. Well, who wants to visit a country that's openly hostile to entire groups of people? The tourism industry would see a dramatic drop in visitors, leading to job losses and reduced income for many Jamaicans. Jamaica risks becoming an international pariah, slapped with sanctions and isolated from the global market. Sanctions would restrict access to international financial systems, making it difficult to conduct business and trade. It's like they're playing economic Jenga and they've just pulled out the bottom block. The entire structure is at risk of collapsing, leading to widespread economic hardship and instability. The consequences of such actions would be felt for generations, making it imperative to consider the long-term impacts of any policy decisions. Political impacts. Jamaica versus the world. Now let's talk politics, shall we? Because this move is so far beyond a political misstep. It's more like Jamaica is playing hopscotch on a minefield. International backlash? You better believe it. Jamaica would be facing condemnation from governments, human rights organizations, and everyone with a functioning moral compass. They'd be the pariah of the Caribbean, uninvited to every party and left off the group chat. And domestically, get ready for some serious political turmoil. This kind of divisive policy is like throwing gasoline on the smoldering embers of existing tensions. Extremism thrives in this kind of environment, and that's a dangerous game for any nation to play. Social impacts tearing apart the fabric of a nation. But hold on, because it gets worse, much worse. The social fabric of Jamaica, yeah, that's about to get ripped apart faster than a cheap hammock in a hurricane. We're talking about a deep, painful tear that will leave scars for generations. We're talking about a society suddenly turning on itself, fueled by suspicion and fear. Imagine the tension in the air, the mistrust that seeps into every conversation, every interaction. Imagine being a child of Arab descent, born and raised in Jamaica, suddenly being told you don't belong. Your friends, your school, your home, all of it now feels alien and hostile. Or a Jamaican Muslim family, generations deep in the island's history, facing discrimination and hostility from their own neighbors. These are families who have contributed to the community, who have shared in its joys and sorrows. It's heartbreaking and utterly senseless. The emotional toll is immense, affecting mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. This policy would pit neighbor against neighbor, eroding the very essence of community and belonging. The trust that once held neighborhoods together would be shattered, replaced by suspicion and animosity. And the brain drain? Forget about it. Schools and workplaces would empty out as people seek safer, more accepting environments. The best and brightest, regardless of their faith or ethnicity, will flee, seeking refuge and opportunity in more welcoming lands. This exodus would leave a void, a loss of talent and potential that could take decades to recover from. Communities would be left with abandoned homes and overgrown yards, a stark reminder of the lives that once thrived there. The economic impact would be devastating, with businesses closing and local economies collapsing. Community leaders and activists would speak out, but their voices might be drowned out by the rising tide of fear and division. Protests and rallies would become common as people fight to reclaim their sense of belonging and justice. But amidst the chaos, there would still be hope. Children playing together, diverse groups interacting peacefully. These moments would remind us of what we stand to lose and what we must fight to protect. The road to healing would be long and arduous, but not impossible. United, the community could begin to rebuild, to mend the torn fabric of their nation. It would take time, effort, and unwavering commitment to inclusivity and understanding. In the end, the strength of Jamaica lies in its diversity, its ability to come together in the face of adversity. By embracing this strength, the nation can emerge stronger, more resilient, and more united than ever before. Now, let's talk about culture, because Jamaica's cultural identity is as vibrant and diverse as its coral reefs. But this policy, it's like taking a sledgehammer to that beautiful tapestry. Jamaica's Arab and Muslim communities have enriched the island's culture for generations, from its cuisine to its music to its art. This policy would erase their contributions, leaving a gaping hole in the nation's cultural landscape. Imagine a world where Bob Marley, a global icon of peace and unity, is silenced because his message of tolerance is no longer welcome. It's a chilling thought and a stark reminder of the cultural wasteland this policy could create. And what about religious freedom, a cornerstone of any democracy, right? Well, Jamaica seems to be misplacing that cornerstone, and the consequences could be dire. This policy sends a clear message. If you're Muslim, you're not truly welcome in Jamaica. It's a slap in the face to the local Muslim community and a dangerous precedent for religious intolerance. The global Muslim community won't stay silent either. Expect boycotts, protests, and international condemnation. Jamaica risks becoming a religious pariah, ostracized by millions around the world. But this isn't just about Jamaica. Oh no, this has implications far beyond their sun-kissed shores. Because when one nation starts stripping away fundamental human rights based on religion or ethnicity, it sets a dangerous precedent for the rest of the world. Imagine the domino effect. If Jamaica can get away with this, what's stopping other countries from following suit? Suddenly the world becomes a much scarier, much more intolerant place. And what about the Jamaican diaspora, those who left the island seeking a better life abroad? Are they suddenly no longer welcome back home? This policy sends a chilling message. You're only Jamaican if you fit a very narrow definition. Look, I'm just a guy with a show, but even I can see that this path Jamaica's considering leads to nothing but ruin. It's a path paved with economic instability, political isolation, social unrest, and cultural suicide. Jamaica has a choice to make. Embrace the diversity that makes it so unique, or succumb to the siren song of division and intolerance. The world is watching, and the consequences of their decision will be felt for generations to come. So Jamaica, please, for the love of all things jerk, chicken, and reggae, choose wisely, choose unity, choose compassion.